Time to warm up for some squats. Whenever I warm up, I like to do 3 warm-up sets, working up to my first working set. This is warm-up number 2. Last session we did 265 or 255 for 6, 3 sets. I'm gonna warm up to that, but I think I gotta push more, so I'm gonna do it. Leg strength still feeling pretty good, even though the calories are down. I like the clips here, they have decent ones. I don't know. Sometimes you get these style of clips, you just can't really, I don't know, they're like they're so tight or something, you can't really, the springs are so tight, you can't really compress them to get them onto the damn bar. It's convenient. Whew. Okay. Feeling pretty good. I think we should be able to go beyond 255 for 6. But we'll make that our first working set anyway. Yeah. 255. I'm really trying to move away from the urge to do heavy singles and triples all the time. So, supposed to be keeping it in the 6 to 8 rep range. We'll see how that goes. I'm a sucker for a good PR. And if your leg strength is there, I mean, why not go for it, right? You know what they say, PR or ER. Speaking of which, we gotta train our heart to failure too. Trying the pipeline punch. It's okay. I think I like the regular monster better. Okay. I gotta throw the belt on now. We get 2 rungs right now? Oh shit. We got it in the second hole. That means we've lost a little bit of belly fat. Oh. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Funny little milestones along the way of fat loss. You judge it based off of how far your belly sticks out. First, you know, you get little milestones like if your belly's not pushing your shirt anymore. Well, when you go down a size on the belt, on the lifting belt, it's pretty nice too. Okay, that's enough bullshit. Let's do it. 6 it is. Might have been able to get 1, maybe 2 more if I pushed it, but not tonight. Okay. Like I said, I'm sort of a sucker for a good PR. So, you know, those 6 set reps, like I said, I was kind of hoping to get a little bit higher than 255 for 6, but if that's not going to happen, I think I'm going to at least push a 3 rep at 275. You know? I think we can make that happen. I think we can make it happen. Let's do it. If we think we can make it happen, we can make it happen. Okay. Okay. What do you say, guys? What do you say you and me rip this out? See how many times we can pick this up and put it back down. Entirely honest with you, if I went for a 4th, some bad shit was gonna happen. Oh man, one of those fucking sessions. We're just gonna see what happens here, you know? Our PR right now is 315. Obviously that's coming in hot. You know, jumping, working up to 315, and then hitting it, not hitting 255 for 6, and then 275 for 3. So now we're gonna go to, what the fuck is that? I'm not good at math. 295. We're just gonna see what we can do. You know? Why not? Whew. Okay. Pretty simple. Up and down. Up and down. Nothing else to it, man. Just fucking up and down. Oh yeah. Whew. Had a feeling. Had a feeling that wasn't coming back up. But that being said, sometimes you just have to risk it for the biscuit. And who doesn't like a biscuit? Okay. Definitely disadvantage of having long hair is when you go to place the squat bar on your traps, if you got a little If you've got a little pseudo mullet like me, it gets pinched between your tripes, your neck, and the bar. Or when you fail like that, same thing. And it pulls your hair. Whew. Okay. So we're just doing this as a drop set now. Okay. Fucking put these on. I want these weights sliding all over the place. Oh man. My stomach is just not cooperating tonight, man. Just stopping me from giving that last extra 10% that I want to give it. I don't know. Must have ate something that didn't agree with me today. Whew. Yeah. We're good with squats now. We'll move on to something that's a little less likely to make me shit myself. Oh man. Whew. There's no pain like leg day pain. I hate it, but love it at the same time. I don't know how I stumbled onto this one. Somewhere on the gram, I saw it. But really dig it. It sort of supplements a Bulgarian split squat. If you're like me and don't have the greatest balance. Whew. Sort of accomplishes a similar thing, right? Similar movement. You're isolating the quad on one side and getting a decent stretch, you know, in the quad on the other. It's tough, dude. Tough one. Give it a try. I don't know if you'll thank me or want to slap me, but whatever it is, I'm sure your legs will be bigger. Maybe you'll kick me. Okay. Just play around with foot position. I've kind of got it just sort of in line with how my foot normally sits. And then my other foot is just kind of going on the ground behind it. You just want to be careful that your knee isn't smashed into the platform at the bottom of the range of motion. And you're just going to come down like that, get a stretch, and push up. Whole time, it's getting to about 6 on the reps. The whole time in my head I'm like thinking, oh God, I want to stop. Please let me stop. Are we done yet? Just gotta fight through it. Right now, the thought of doing a drop set is just fucking agony to me. I really don't want to do one. Not at all. Not one fucking bit. That being said, I also don't want to be a bitch. Oh man. Okay. I could use some water. And then onto I think some Romanian deadlifts. Get the hamstrings. If you don't like lifting belts or straps, then I'm gonna have to introduce you to my good pal, Sugma. You know Sugma? Sugma nuts. Starting to think that spaghetti, high acidic tomato sauce before leg day wasn't the best idea. Let that be a lesson to you. and to me. I know better. I know better. But I mean, look at me. I also like spaghetti. Think you put a plate of spaghetti in front of a guy like me, Jesus. Oh, it's gone. Never mind if it has meatballs. My God. Maron. Mamma mia. Again, the fucking spaghetti's coming back to get me. Shit. Whew. Mamma mia. Whew. Okay. We just gotta fight through, you know? We're almost at the end of this leg day anyway. Whew. Now let's see what really trains to failure. My legs or something else. I think it's time to move on to something else. This isn't really, actually, you know what, I'm gonna start feeling some tightness in my hip flexors. So I'm actually I'm gonna warm up to it, doing the abduction movement first. See if we can get my hips to open up a bit. Feel a little bit of weight on them so we can get some resistance. Okay, just that. Well, I wanted to finish the workout with some leg extensions. Superset with leg curls. But of course, the leg extension machine happens to be down. So, what do? You improvise. You don't just throw in the towel, throw your hands up and go, oh God, why isn't the leg extension machine working? It's down for maintenance, my workout's ruined. No. Just pivot. Do something else. Same goes if it's a busy gym. If you can't figure out different ways to get the desired leg or muscle group targeted in a workout, you can't improvise in a huge facility full of state-of-the-art equipment. I think you've got some other issues that you need to sort out before you, well, in conjunction to going to the gym. You gotta be adaptable, man. You gotta be able to improvise. Sometimes you're just not gonna be able to have the piece of equipment that you want to use. And tough titties, that's life. You just improvise, adapt, pick something else, and hit your legs from a different fucking angle, baby. Yeah, I never do these anymore, so this is good. I do have to keep in mind, where my volume's at when going by feel, though, because sometimes I do have a tendency to get a little carried away, but that's okay. You know, it's all part of the fun, as long as you don't hurt yourself, which I've hurt myself a few times doing that, but I feel like I'm at a point now where I can sort of understand the limits of my body a little better. I know when I need to take a break, you know, whether that's to scale back the intensity of my training, straight up take a couple days off from training, you know, whether that's a break from dieting or whatever, or, you know, I can tell when I need to change something now. And I can also kind of tell when I'm bullshitting myself, right? I might still be able to like deceive myself for a few days, you know, into thinking maybe I need more rest than I do, or being, you know, a little down on myself, like getting caught up in my head and whatnot, self-pity. But these days, those moments don't last very long. Usually pretty quick about getting myself back in gear. What to talk about? Well, for those of you that don't know, my name is Devin. I have been going to the gym for a long time, off and on, since I was a kid. My dad introduced me when I was about 12, but it never really stuck until I was in my early teens, or in my early 20s, late teens. But for whatever reason, like I'd always been a little bit chubbier, a little heavier set as a kid. I got pretty damn heavy during COVID in particular. I got really damn heavy. Had a few years of depression, anxiety, feelings of low self-worth that all preceded those already heavy times for everyone. And then just going into that, I didn't react the best. And anyway, so I got to 215 pounds. And if you go on my page, you can kind of see, you know, a few videos where I show that. Now I'm weighing around 178 as of a couple days ago. I'm weighing in basically every second day right now. Just back on a cut after doing a little mini bulk again, after dieting down to as low as 162 pounds. So quite a substantial amount of weight loss. Like I lost over 50 pounds of fat, underwent body recomposition, focused on compound movement, strength, keeping my protein intake high, and eating in a calorie deficit, and just maintaining that mindset that keeps me walking through the door every day, you know? It was all about discipline and just being consistent. And along the way, since I was at my lowest point, there have been many points where I've slipped up. I haven't lived up to the expectations that I've set on myself. But as I was saying, the longer I've had my head in the game this arc in my fitness experience, the more resilient I've become, and the quicker I'm able to get my head back in the game on those days that I do happen to slip up. Oh man, that's a little bit heavy. Okay, well, half that. But yeah, that's a little bit about who I am. I started sharing my fitness content, if that's what you want to call it, content. I like to call it content. I guess it's content because I'm making reels. I'm not just putting daily updates. You know, I'd like to try and make them a little flashy, have fun with it, you know. I started posting last year, sort of in the end of 2022 and the early 2023, just because, for two reasons. One, I wanted to document my progress, you know, for myself. I guess three reasons. I wanted somewhere to like reliably document my progress. And an added, benefit of documenting it on Instagram and social media was that I would be able to sort of keep myself accountable to whoever it is that decided to latch on to that content that I put out there. And then the other side of the coin is I've always really just genuinely enjoyed helping people. I want to see people do their best. Sometimes I'm a little bit better at giving advice than I am at taking it myself, but that's just the way she goes. So on choosing to put myself out there and share my fitness experience, I just sort of wanted to be able to hold myself accountable to some people, and that's been fantastic. I've met a lot of really amazing people so far, made a lot of great friends, and I really wanted to be able to help inspire some people to just get started, because really the hardest part of the whole journey, in my opinion, is just getting started. I spent so much time talking about it, thinking about it, planning, writing different exercise routines, writing different meal plans, thinking about different ways to approach the problem of my weight gain, daydreaming about the kind of body that I wanted to have one day. And all that time, I wasn't taking the most important step. You can plan all you want, but if you never set foot in the door, nothing's going to happen. And you're just always going to stay the same person who you were yesterday. The same dreamer. The same person who just desperately wants to be someone other than who they are. And eventually I just got tired of that. So, like I said, I've lost over 50 pounds of fat. Spent the better part of last year dieting, the better part of this past year dieting, and I've had obstacles. My job keeps me away from town lots, so I have to adapt to long periods of time away from the gym, away from consistency in terms of my sleep routine, eating schedule, and the name of the game for me has just been resilience and an adaptation, finding ways to keep my head in the game even when I'm away from the gym, and finding ways to step it up all the time. I've recently added a lot more cardio to my routine. I've been getting into the habit of doing daily cardio. I've been inspired by a lot of great people putting stuff out there. Just kick my ass in gear even more, I've learned to temper my my drive that sometimes makes me push a little harder than I need to rein in the volume to a more reasonable and sustainable level over the long term, but still getting me good results and still letting me walk out of the gym with a sense of satisfaction in my workouts. Things are feeling pretty good. I'm going away here on Boxing Day, going on a commercial fishing trip just south of Alaska, north of a place called Haida Gwaii on the rough, wild west coast of British Columbia. And it's going to be rough seas. It's going to be hard. It's going to be physically hard, but it's going to be mentally hard. It's one thing to have a physically laborious job. It's another to have a physically laborious job in unsteady conditions with weather, rough seas. You're cold, you're wet, you don't have stable ground. And you got to work, and I am prone to seasickness. Fortunately, I have a good medication that really helps me with that, but, it's going to take resilience and adaptation. I'm going to have to make sure my diet's on point so that we stay in a deficit the whole time, keep our protein intake high so we minimize our muscle loss. And then it's just all fucking cardio and endurance, baby. I'm gonna be down there chopping ice, burning calories, building up my upper body strength, my core. Getting paid to work out. That's the way to look at it, man. I'm gonna bring my daily Stoic, make sure that I'm reading lots of good literature to keep my spirits up. I'm gonna get in the habit of journaling, watch some good animes, probably take some manga with me, and just try to make the absolute most of it, and keep in mind for myself that at the end of the day, it's a means to an end. It's a pathway to securing financial freedom for me. And, you know, in today's economy, that's a fucking blessing that I can't take for granted, man. When I get back from the boat, I'm gonna be able to give my attention finally, my full attention to my passions, my hobbies and my goals, my friends, my family. And let me tell you right now, 2024 is not gonna be a year of messing around. We got a lot of huge things coming. I'm gonna be staying in a deficit from pretty much now until I reach my goal weight, my goal composition, let's say, which is gonna be somewhere between 10 and 15% body fat. We're gonna get leaner than we did last time. You know, we were down to 165 last time. We bulked back up here. I wanna be 165 by the time I get back from the boat and leaner, you know. That's pretty much the way I'm looking at it. So we're just gonna challenge ourselves. We're gonna push hard and hard. Year's not over yet. If you haven't started your fitness journey yet, there's no better time to start than just now. All of the New Year's resolutioners, they're sitting, they're waiting. They're waiting to pull the trigger on their new fitness journey on January 2nd, you know, after they've slept the hangovers off and all that. You get started now, you're ahead of the curve, man. And you're not a resolutioner. Most resolutioners fail, they give up after, I don't know, a month. That's why the gyms, you know, they get super busy in January, they're pretty quiet in February and March. You start now, you're gonna be the ones in there. Past March, into April, into June, July, you'll be shredded by summer, for sure, or closer to shredded than you've ever been. You know, just start now. Don't wait. Why wait? What's the point in waiting? What is waiting until January gonna do for you, really? Start today. Trust me, you'll thank me later. One of the tools I've implemented along this arc of my fitness journey, I keep calling it an arc. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory what that means for anyone who's ever had time in and out of the gym. Anyway, one of the strategies I've been implementing on this particular arc, and I really think it's a part of why I've been so successful, is the if it fits my macros approach. You know, rather than being extremely exclusionary with particular foods and taking the exclusion diet route, like say keto, or which I've done in the past. Pretty much you name a diet, I've tried it, to be honest with you. I've been trying to gain control of my body composition for a long time. And in truth, I've been trying to find pretty much any way that would be a quick fix. Tried a lot of different quick fix methods. And in my experience, none of them really work. Let's say keto, for example, for me, it's like I got some initial weight loss, but the loss of strength in the gym, to me, you know, it didn't justify the little bit of fat loss, and neither did the fact that I was craving foods that I just wasn't allowed to eat because I was on keto, you know. And then eventually your willpower can only last so long. Eventually you're gonna go to fucking Pizza Hut and you're gonna get that extra large pepperoni with the extra mozzarella, you know, and you're gonna eat the entire thing, and you're gonna eat a freaking thing of spicy hot wings with it too. Wash it down with a friggin' Pepsi, you know? Eventually that day is gonna come, and then you're gonna feel like crap. And then you're gonna feel guilty, and you're gonna wash that guilt down with a side of Doritos, maybe one of those Oreo ice cream sandwiches we all like so much. Next thing you know, a month's gone by, you've been eating like crap, you put on all the fat you lost, and then some, and then you start keto again, and the cycle continues. And I've heard of people getting even heavier and heavier than they were when they started dieting, doing stuff like that. It's yo-yo dieting, really toxic. I just think if it fits my macros is much more reasonable, man. You know, if you want to eat a Pop-Tart, better look at what your daily intake is. Can you fit that Pop-Tart in? It's like me, I go to the movies, I don't deprive myself of popcorn. I eat that, I gotta stop swearing. I eat that popcorn. I eat the shit out of that popcorn, man. Ugh. But I work my ass off in the gym so that I can use that popcorn as fuel, you know? To prepare for my next training session, to recover. And when I'm being really, really diligent, I make a spot for it in my diet. I post pretty regularly on my Instagram story showing what I'm eating, especially this time around in the cut. I want to be really consistent with what I'm eating so that I can give sort of a blueprint to follow to a certain extent. Like, I just want to show you that you don't have to be disordered in the way that you lose weight. You know, I eat A&W almost daily and I lose weight and build muscle. You know, it's about making smart choices. Am I getting French fries and onion rings, you know, chicken strips? I might get chicken strips once in a while, let's be perfectly honest about that. But for the most part, when I go to A&W, I get the exact same thing every time. I get a Papa Burger, which is just a double cheese, or it's a double burger for my American friends and whoever else hasn't had the pleasure of enjoying A&W. It's a double burger. Cheese is optional. Screw the cheese. Comes with mayo. Skip the mayo. You know, what do you need that extra fat for? There's lots of fat in the burger already, okay? So I get a Papa Burger, skip the mayo. I substitute the raw onions for grilled onions. It's got ketchup, mustard. What more do you need, man? It's about 500 and some odd calories, about 38 grams of protein, 30 some odd grams of fat, 30 some odd grams of carbs. To me, that's a perfect post-workout meal. Doesn't get better than that. Fills me up. I get to eat a freaking burger. I'm a happy camper, dude. Look at me. Think a guy like me doesn't like eating burgers? Anyway. You can eat burgers and lose weight. You know, maybe as you're starting to get down to the leaner stages or the contest prep stages, then you need to be a little bit more diligent. But if you're just going from overweight or obese to a ideal or healthy or average body composition, you don't need to eat clean, as they say, or, you know, at least not all the time. At least not in my experience. I mean, I do eat a lot of whole foods, don't get me wrong. I just also don't deprive myself of things that I want to eat. So, you know, if I really want that Oreo ice cream sandwich, I can eat that Oreo ice cream sandwich. If I really want to order pizza for dinner, bet your ass I'm getting pizza. You know, I get the serial killer Sam Sulek diet, that fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cereal's a pretty good pre-workout, man. It's got a combination of whole grains and quick sugar, the simple carbs. That's energy, baby. You know, even better, mix it in with a protein shake to make sure you're getting your daily protein intake. I don't know, man. We're talking 400 or 500 calories. Same numbers, dude. Actually, low fat, you know, because again, like, I don't really want to. Today I made the mistake. I had, you know, the big old spaghetti with ground pork and tomato sauce before I came here. To me, that was a mistake. My stomach doesn't react well to a lot of fat before a training session. You know, but everyone's body's different. Some people, you could eat that spaghetti and then some and come train and have no issues. Like, I got a buddy who could eat McDonald's right before a training session and it doesn't affect him. And he thinks I'm crazy when I tell him I can't eat something high fat before the gym. He looks at me like I'm nuts. Well, it just is what it is. That's how my tummy is, my little tummy. But, you know, bowl of cereal before the gym. I do skim milk, so there's no fat, really. You know, maybe a tiny little bit of fat from the breakfast cereal, but, you know, it's under, let's do more reps here. It's under 10 grams of fat, which is usually my threshold. Like, I find if I go above 10 grams before a workout, that's when I start to feel bloated, gassy, all that sort of fun jazz. But yeah, man, I just eat whatever, as long as it fits my macros. And really, for me, it's more about nutrient timing than hard macros anyway. The number I'm most rigid with is my protein intake, which I just try to get at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, because that's, you know, more than adequate in most circumstances from my understanding. And as far as fat and carbs are concerned, I just look at it this way. Carbs are energy for me. I eat my carbs primarily before and after the gym. I try to eat the bulk of my carbohydrates around my training sessions. You know, if I'm training later in the day, I look at those carbohydrates that I'm consuming throughout the day as banking up to support my workout later on in the day. And then before my training session, in particular, I really like to have some sort of a simple carbohydrate. I just find it gives me a good burst of energy, especially if it has some caffeine. Good burst of energy, really nice pump. You know, we got a little bit of, like, you're always seeing me with an energy drink these days. That's become my new thing. And the reason for that is, you know, we got some sodium, we got some simple sugar, and we got some caffeine. You know, to me, that's a recipe for a good training session and a sick pump. I always feel pumped up when I have something like this before a training session. So to me, it's more about getting my protein intake, getting the caloric intake down correct, and then just nutrient timing. I'll talk more about it later. I got some cardio to do.